Yup. In a world where 70% of people have some sort of superpowers, was a young child that all he wanted to do was become a hero like his idol, All Might. But those dreams were seemingly crushed pretty swiftly. I'm sorry, kid, but it's not gonna happen. Tears filled the young boy's eyes, and he looked toward his mom. It's okay, doctor. We will be going now. The car was silent on the way back home, and the young boy's mother was just trying to figure out the words to say to him. Azuku, out of nowhere, a car crashes into them, and their car goes tumbling. In another universe. I told you, Frieza. You could live your own life without any violence, but now after what you happened and what you did to my world, my family, I will send you back to hell. Ka-me-ha-me-ha! Frieza screams in pain as his body vanishes into nothingness. Well, back to my damn cocoon. Light begins to glimmer, and instead of waking up in the afterlife, the light seemingly began to send him through space and time, until he ended up in his own pseudo-hell, one that his powers were only allowed to be used for good, and if he ever wanted to leave, he needed to make a positive change in the world. And it all started with a young boy by the name of Azuku Midoriya. They're back to the car. Their car then comes to a halt. Azuku, honey, are you okay? Yes, Mom, I think so. Okay, good. As she says this, a massive man pulls her out of the car and throws her. Mom! Someone help! Help my mom! The massive man then pulls Midoriya out of the car as well. Kid, watch as I murder your mother. Now you and me will have seen the same fate. Midoriya recognizes the man as a villain, who they say basically his mother was killed in front of him, and his sole purpose was to enact the same fate that he had on others. No, please, don't hurt my mom. Too late, kid. The man crushes the skull of his mother, and her body falls limp. Mom? Mom? As this happens, a figure flies in, smashing the villain into the wall. What? Who are you? Well, you're too late, hero. The person then begins shooting purple beams in the arms and legs of the man until he passes out. The figure walks over to the young kid. What is your name, kid? Azuku Midoriya. The figure then kneels down. I wasn't here quick enough, kid, and I'm sorry for that. But I have a purpose here. Well, what purpose? I don't even know you. Just call me Frieza. Frieza then takes Midoriya away to his home, telling him that he needs to call someone that he knows and that will allow him to stay with them, and for the time being at least. Midoriya, what is your quirk? Well, I don't have one, but maybe if I did, my mother wouldn't be gone. As he says this, he begins to cry. Frieza's eyes grow wide in realization of what he has to do. He's been sent to this world for so long, thinking that maybe he has to be a pro hero, save people, but no, he needs to train someone of the future generation who will break the traditional idea of what a hero truly is. Kid, I will train you. I am quirkless as well, and I will train you to be stronger. Azuku's eyes grow wide as Frieza disappears. Hours pass and he is picked up by Bakugo's mom to stay with them. Well, at least until a foster family can be put into place for him. For days, Azuku would cry about what happened, about his mother, and that he needs to be stronger and that he will train so hard to the point nobody around him will ever get hurt again. After about 6 months of staying with Bakugo's family, Someone went through the process to adopt him. Azuku, your new foster parent is here. I'm coming. Azuku runs downstairs to see the man that saved him 6 months ago. Hello, Midoriya. Frieza? Frieza looks at the kid and smiles, thinking that all these years of trying to find out what he truly had to do led to this, but that he still feels odd about how this came about. Come on, kid. Time to go home. Azuku then leaves with him, and they arrive at a pretty nice house. Wow, how do you have such a nice place? Well, kid, I'm a top 10 pro hero. Definitely helps it with that, I guess. Top 10? That is amazing. And you're quirkless? Frieza then begins to remember back to when he was first sent here, and he was trying to take over this version of Earth. But every time he would do something non-heroic, it seemed as if he couldn't use his ki, and his words would turn into basically gibberish. Frieza rolls his eyes while thinking about this, and then just shows Midoriya his room. Whoa, my room is so cool! I'm glad you like it, kid. Midoriya then turned 5 years old, and Frieza told him that it is now time to start their training. For 5 years, Frieza taught Midoriya all of the combat knowledge he knows, and also would put him through workouts that will allow him to not lose as much stamina in a fight. Midoriya was then moved from his original school because of all the bullying he was going through because he was quirkless. Azuku, this school is going to be much better. The education is better, and it leads more to you being a hero. I know, but what if everyone still bullies me? Son, you'll be fine, trust me. And if someone tries to hurt you, I give you full permission to defend yourself. But I don't... Please don't say it, that you don't have a quirk. That doesn't matter, I promise. You are more than capable of defending yourself. And when we begin training you in the art of ki control, you will be even stronger. Okay, I trust you. Midoriya then goes to the new school and meets some new friends. One of them by the name of Shoto Todoroki, in which they bonded on the fact that their dads were pro heroes. But Shoto would tell Midoriya of how bad Endeavor would treat him, but that if he wanted to actually get stronger, then he had to basically just put up with it. Yeah, sometimes I feel like this fire quirk is a curse. Like, I never want to use it. Please don't say that, Shoto. I don't even have a quirk, but I work hard to become the best I can be. Shoto looks at Azuku in shock at the fact that he's quirkless. You can't be serious, but your dad is a top hero. Yes, he is, but he isn't my actual dad. He adopted me, and he's currently training me to be a quirkless hero. Shoto looks at his left hand, thinking that not using both his ice and fire is basically a disservice to Midoriya. Someone who doesn't even have a quirk, but wants to be a hero so bad that he is training every day to do so. All the way up until the last year of middle school, Midoriya trained in learning something called ki. Being able to use ki allowed him to fly, run faster, and even create blasts. Even taking some inspiration from his adoptive father, Frieza, being able to shoot purple beams. He also taught him how to use telekinesis, in which he isn't the best at, but can still use pretty well. During a training session. Not fast enough, Azuku. Come on, you can do better. Azuku continues to try and attack Frieza, but is still getting beat pretty bad. Come on, you can do it. Faster, stronger. Use your ki, focus it, and hit me with all you got. Midoriya flies forward at Frieza at full speed, and his body begins to flicker a gold color, and when he connects his punch with Frieza's hand, his body erupts in a gold aura, but goes away just as fast as it appears. What was that? That power, it's very similar to my golden form. Golden form? Frieza begins powering up, and the ground shakes like crazy, and his once purple and white body turns a gold and purple. Midoriya then watches this, thinking that the pressure being created alone is insane. Now you have something else to work toward, Midoriya. Frieza then tells him that he recommended him into UA, so he doesn't actually have to take the entrance exam, and for the next 10 months they will be working on him becoming his own fighter and hero. Over the next 10 months, Midoriya does a lot of ki control training, and also how to use his ki without overdoing it. He also finds time to train with Shoto and even Endeavor, and all the things Azuku heard from Shoto about him being a terrible father seem to be getting better, and Todoroki even says himself that Azuku has somehow made Endeavor a better person. Maybe being that a quirkless person is working so hard to be a hero. Then the last day before going to UA comes, and Shoto and Azuku are hanging out at Todoroki's house. Shoto, are you excited for our first day at UA? Yeah, but I'm unsure how much they can actually teach us, especially because we have been learning from top heroes. Yeah, I know, but Fumi then walks in. You know, you two really need more friends, so at least UA should give you that. Fumi, you gotta do us like that? You know I don't mean it like that, Sho. I love both of you, but having more friends will definitely be beneficial. They both agree with her, and Midoriya leaves saying bye to Shoto's family and heads home. Midoriya then wakes up the next day and meets up with Shoto and heads over to UA. They head into the school and see a large door with 1A on it. This door is huge. Who is in this class, giants? They walk in to see Bakugo arguing with a blue-haired boy. Bakugo looks over to see Azuku, and his eyes grow angry. Deku, why are you here? I thought you finally gave up on being a hero. How did you even get in? Oh, Bakugo, haven't seen you in a while. And to answer your question, I got recommended. Shoto and Azuku walk to their seats as Bakugo stands there in shock and also angry at the fact that he got ignored practically. Deku, don't ignore me. What do you think, you're better than me? Bakugo charges forward at him with explosions in his hands. Before he could actually get close, a scarf is wrapped around him. Sit down or you're expelled. Bakugo turns around and then sits down, kind of scared of the man's red eyes. Now that is over, my name is Shota Aizawa, and I will be your teacher for the next 3 years. Now, put on these. He throws them all PE outfits and tells them to get changed. They arrive in the locker rooms and Shoto and Azuku begin talking. So, what do you think we're going to be doing? Probably some physical assessment or quirk test or something like that. Bakugo then walks over. Deku, what did you do to get in here? Did you cheat? You're quirkless. How can a useless quirkless person like you get in? Midoriya ignores him as Kirishima asks how much he has trained because he looks shredded. Oh yeah, I've trained a lot with my foster dad. And tons of combat training as well. Whoa, that is so manly, Mita bro. Deku, don't ignore me. Midoriya then walks out with Shoto not even acknowledging him. So that's him, huh, Izuku? Yeah, that's the angry Pomeranian. They both walk up to the area Aizawa told them to go to, and they wait for their class. Now that everyone is here, Bakugo, take this. He throws a ball at him, telling him to throw it as far as he can, and basically do it while he's standing in that circle. Bakugo does so, and while he does, he screams "Die!" and launches the ball 709 meters. The class then begins to say how fun this will be, but Aizawa cuts them off instantly. Oh, fun? Well, how about we up the stakes? Whoever gets last will be expelled. Most of the class basically gasps and basically says that isn't fair, but Aizawa responds that, well, life isn't fair. The ball gets thrown at Midoriya and he's about to throw it, but as he does so, Aizawa activates his quirk on him, but the ball still goes sailing, and even Midoriya reaches out his hand, seemingly pushing the ball even farther. 3,000 meters. Impressive, Midoriya. So your information is right. You are quirkless. What? How would you even prove that? I used my quirk on you to erase your quirk, but nothing happened, so whatever training the number 7 hero put you through must have been hell. Well, it was, but Dad did go somewhat easy on me. But there was some times he would call me a stupid monkey during sparring. I don't even know what that was about. At least he doesn't do that now. As he finishes talking, Bakugo charges at him, saying that he can't be that strong, and that he has to have a quirk, and how could he even be do this, and that he isn't worthy enough to be trained by a top hero. Aizawa tells Bakugo to shut up and get back in line, and he does so. The quirk assessment then finishes, and Midoriya and Shoto get the top 2 spots. Okay, and the person in last place is Mineta. Don't worry, nobody's getting expelled. It was just a logical ruse to make you try your hardest. Now, class, you're all dismissed. Go home. Midoriya heads home and begins doing some light training while Frieza is out doing hero work and heads to bed right after. The next day, he flies to school because Shoto told him he would be doing something basically with his dad before school, so instead of meeting up with him, he just decided to fly on his own. He arrived way earlier than normal and entered the classroom. Only a few people were there, a couple girls, and as well as Ida. One of the girls then approached him. Hey, I'm Momo. I heard you got in on recommendation and thought it would be good to make friends with another recommended student. Oh, hello, Momo. I'm Azuku Midoriya, but feel free to call me Azuku. Nice to meet you. Is it true that you really got trained by the top hero? Yeah, actually, he adopted me after an incident that happened when I was 4. Oh, if you don't mind me asking, what happened? I will tell you, but just not now, okay? She agrees and goes to sit back down, and the other girls tease her about basically approaching him. He smiles, thinking that most of the people in this class are actually really nice. I mean, except for Bakugo. Aizawa enters and begins to explain what they will be doing. Hello, class. Today you will all be training with a different teacher, and he will be here about now. All Might then busts in the room. I am here, walking in like a normal person. Everyone screams, All Might. All Might pulls out a remote and clicks a button and tells them to get on their hero outfits. Azuku's hero outfit is actually pretty basic, and it's more of like a martial arts type of gi. He has like a white jumpsuit and basically a purple gi over on top of it. He walks up to his class, and Shoto and Momo go up to him saying how much they like his hero outfit and that he looks a lot like basically the same colors as Frieza. He kind of laughs and basically says that, I mean, he has to pay some respect, right? All Might then begins to explain that they will be doing hero versus villain training. That the villains will be protecting a bomb and the heroes must seize the bomb or capture both villains. All Might announces the teams, and he says that the villains will be Bakugo and Ida, and the heroes will be Midoriya and Yaoyorozu. Bakugo and Ida head in, and the heroes are given 5 minutes to plan. So, you got any plans, Momo? Well, yeah. Knowing that Bakugo and you have a bad past, he will probably come to fight you immediately. So I can just create this. She then creates a grappling hook. And I'll find the bomb from the outside and wait for you to finish your fight with Bakugo. And then you can come up and meet me at the bomb. Well, you better be quick because that fight won't last long. Wow, confident much, huh, Izuku? He smiles and the 5 minutes are then up. He enters the building and he can basically hear all the way down the corridor Bakugo flying with his explosions. Deku, you damn quirkless nerd. I will beat you right now and show you how useless you are. Midoriya stands there waiting for Bakugo, and Bakugo shoots an explosion at his face, but it goes right through it. What? How did you? Midoriya taps him on the shoulder and throws him at the wall. Bakugo starts to get up. You damn nerd, you can't beat me. As he says this, Midoriya shoots a beam at him, but reduces the power a lot and shoots him in his arms and legs, making him fall forward, and he can no longer move. Azuku, I found the bomb on the 4th floor, 3rd room. Midoriya races up the stairs and gets to the room. Midoriya, it seems you have beaten Bakugo, but you won't get past me. Midoriya thinks that this kid really has played into the villain role like heavily here. Midoriya walks up slowly and puts his hand out. Ida tries to move and fight, but he can no longer move. What did you do, hero? Just keeping you in place for that. Just, for a little bit. Momo goes through the window and touches the bomb. Hero team wins. Momo and Azuku high five and they head back to the class. You all did an amazing job, but for you, Bakugo, you need to put aside any grudges and truly analyze situations. Momo and Azuku, an amazing plan done to perfection, so for that, you two are the MVPs. The rest of the class takes their turn as well, and Azuku watches as Shoto easily wins his match, and then the class is dismissed. Azuku arrives at home, and Frieza is there waiting. How was school, Azuku? Good. What's up? You're home early today, Dad. Well, I wanted to speak with you about something, and now that you're older, I think you'll finally understand. He explains that he isn't from this world, and that back in his original world, he wasn't a good person. So as a punishment, he was sent here, as his basically afterlife hell, and that he had to make the world better, and that a mission involved a boy by the name of Azuku Midoriya. Look, I don't want you to think that I'm doing this for the sole purpose of getting back, but before he can finish, Azuku hugs him. You don't need to explain yourself. For some reason, I believe what you're saying, even if it does sound crazy, and all that matters is who you are now. Well, Azuku, you have changed me a lot, and even the years I spent here before meeting you changed me tons. Midoriya tells him that he really doesn't have to explain himself, but one of these days, when he is older, he wants to hear all the stuff that has happened in his life. Good or really bad. He agrees and tells Azuku basically to head to bed. He does so and sleeps and wakes up in the morning and flies to school. When he arrives, he talks to Momo and Shoto for a bit until Aizawa enters the classroom. Okay, problem children. Today we'll be heading to the USJ for rescue training. So everyone head to the bus. The class heads to the bus, and they all begin talking about who everyone thinks is the strongest. Some saying that it's Shoto, and others saying that it's Midoriya. Nah, Shoto is stronger than me. I'm quirkless, right? Midoriya slightly smirks at Bakugo, and he turns away pissed off. You just had to, Izuku, didn't you? Izuku then just starts laughing, saying that he just couldn't resist. Okay, children, we are here. Now get off the bus. Everyone enters the USJ, and Pro Hero 13 greets them. She begins to explain what will basically be happening until a large portal opens in the center of the USJ. 13, get the students to safety. Aizawa then runs down the staircase and begins fighting, but he is about to get hit from behind, but someone kicks the villain away. Midoriya, what are you doing? Helping? You know that this would be easier with me helping you. Aizawa rolls his eyes and tells Midoriya just to follow his lead. They knock out all the small fry villains, but the main villains begin to talk. You may have beaten them, but how about this? Nomu, kill Eraserhead. A monster charges at Aizawa, and he tries to cancel its quirks, but nothing happens. The monster is about to punch Aizawa in the face, but Midoriya slides in the way, blocking it. Midoriya, what are you doing? Aizawa looks up to see Azuku blocking the full force attack from the Nomu, and his aura erupts in this gold-looking color, and his eyes become red. Midoriya, what is... Azuku, not hearing Aizawa, stares at the Nomu, dead in his face. You will not hurt anyone while I am here. Midoriya blocks the hit from the Nomu that is about to strike Aizawa, and his body erupts in a gold aura. Midoriya punches the Nomu, and it slightly gets pushed backwards. Stupid kid. Nomu, kill him. Midoriya reaches out his hand, and as the Nomu charges back at him, he holds him off with his telekinesis. Aizawa, please move. Aizawa gets up and moves out of the way, and activates his quirk from a distance. The Nomu is then slammed into the wall. Kid, did you... No, I didn't. Just stay back. Midoriya begins to shoot purple beams at the Nomu, piercing its body over and over again. Damn, this thing's regeneration is insane. The Nomu then slowly gets up while taking the hits from Midoriya and continues to push forward. Out of nowhere, a portal opens near Midoriya and Shigaraki comes out of it, about to touch him. His fingers inches away from Midoriya's face, but he expands his aura and Shigaraki goes flying. The door then flies open from the top of the USJ and someone enters. No need to fear, because I am here. Midoriya sighs, thinking that thank God, now I have some frickin' help. Young Midoriya, I am now here, so do not worry. All Might charges in at the Nomu and punches the already lightly worn out Nomu out of the USJ. No. This isn't fair. That dumb kid. All Might was supposed to be the main fight, not him. Shigaraki then tells Kurogiri to get him out, but before they could, Midoriya blasts both of them and even sends a blast through the portal. They both get hit, and when they arrive at their base, it is partially destroyed. That damn kid. I swear I will kill him. Midoriya then collapses in exhaustion and remembers back to what Frieza said, that this new form, just like his own, will most likely drain his stamina immensely since he's not used to it. Aizawa picks up Midoriya and basically begins talking to him. Good job, problem child. Thanks for the save. Yeah, no problem, sensei. I'm just really tired. He takes Midoriya to Recovery Girl, and the class gets 2 days off from school. After some recovery time, Midoriya heads home and tells Frieza about what happened. So yeah, I was able to awaken that golden form you were talking about, but it just drained my stamina extremely fast, like you said. Frieza tells him that they will need to work on his energy conservation, and that it will allow him to maintain that form as if it was his regular form. So for the next 2 days, they did so. But Midoriya still can't really hold the form for very long, because of how much training it will actually take to do so. The 2 days off then pass, and the students head back to school. When Midoriya arrives in class, Momo approaches him. Hey, I know you said you were quirkless, but how were you able to do everything you did in the USJ? Like, your aura alone blasted that villain away. Midoriya then explains that he trained in something called Ki for years with Frieza, and that Ki, in a way, is kinda his quirk. Wait, so you're telling me anyone can learn Ki? Yeah, I guess so, but I don't think anyone but me and my dad really know how to use it. Well, I know we just became friends and all, but could you maybe... I can ask Frieza, but ultimately I don't feel comfortable teaching you unless he gives me the okay. Oh, okay, I understand. But I will definitely try my best to convince him. Midoriya smiles and Momo slightly blushes, and Aizawa enters the classroom. Hello, problem children. In the next couple days, the UA Sports Festival will occur. So all of you must start training and be ready. After normal classes that day, Midoriya heads home to ask Frieza if he could train a friend of his, basically how to use ki. Oh, so who is this person? She's just a fellow recommended student. A she, huh? Yeah, I guess you can teach your little girlfriend. Dad, it's not like that. Yeah, sure it is. Midoriya just rolls his eyes and heads to bed. The day of the UA Sports Festival occurs, and he tells Momo that he is allowed to teach her, but the training is going to be really difficult. She tells him that she knows, but thanks him for helping her basically get stronger. The UA Sports Festival then begins, and all the classes head out to the field when introduced by midnight. She then tells the student representative, Katsuki Bakugo, to head to the stage. He approaches with his hands in his pockets and says, "I'm gonna win." The crowd then begins to boo like crazy and saying that a good hero is humble, but Bakugo seems like he just doesn't care. He joins his class, and Ida begins to tell Bakugo that why would he do that when he represents his whole class. Bakugo ignores him, and the first event is announced to be an obstacle course. Nice, an obstacle course? Obstacle course? This should be, well, easy. The whole class stares at Midoriya, confused. Oh, sorry, I said that out loud. All of the classes line up, and President Mike gives a countdown, and the classes begin to go. Shoto then freezes everyone in a small corridor and begins to run. Midoriya, hovering above him, then speaks. That wasn't cool, Sho. Like, you know I hate the cold. Shoto looks up and just shakes his head, as Midoriya then flies super fast past all the obstacles and crosses the finish line way faster than anyone else. Azuku Midoriya is the winner. Wow, that quirk is very convenient. Aizawa then talks into the speaker. He's quirkless, President Mike. What? How could that be? The crowd is basically in shock and begin to talk as Midoriya just lays on the ground and he puts his hands behind his head. Midoriya then takes a nap while he waits for everyone to finish, and Momo approaches him while he's taking a nap. Hey Azuku, like, you're so freaking fast. Huh? Oh, hi Momo. I guess so, but obstacle course is super convenient for what I can do. Midnight then announces that the next event will be the cavalry battle, and the person who got first in the obstacle course will have 10 million points. Everyone then stares at Midoriya as if he was like some massive threat of some sort. Midoriya puts his hands on the back of his head and just sighs. Momo runs up to him and tells him to not worry, that she will join him as well. He kind of just laughs and tells her that they're gonna win pretty easily. She looks at him confused, and then he says that he can fly, so... Oh, how did I even forget that you could do that? Nobody else actually joined them, so the two of them were on their own team. When the cavalry battle started, Momo got on Midoriya's shoulders, and he immediately flew straight up into the sky. Well, we win. How can you be so confident that nobody can actually get us? Well, I mean, Bakugo could get up here, but I could easily send him back down using telekinesis. Well then, you want to listen to music? How are you going to do that? Momo then makes an iPod with earphones, and they basically just listen to music until the cavalry battle was over. Midoriya then gets announced as the first place winner, and everyone that got into the next round is, well, the same as in canon. Midoriya and Momo land on the ground, and Shoto walks up to him. You know, Izuku, that's a pretty boring way of winning. Hey, I know, but come on, I just can't. I'm just not gonna just not do it. Maybe if y'all just trained more, you could actually hit me out of the sky. Shoto just laughs and tells him that he can't run when the 1v1 battles come. Yeah, I know, Sho. The 1v1 battles are announced, and the first fight is Midoriya versus Shinso. They both arrive at the stage. Now, begin. So you're the quirkless loser. How pathetic. Midoriya just stays silent and looks at Shinso confused. Or are you just trying to lie to all of us? Trying to make yourself look better than me and all of us combined? Midoriya just rolls his eyes, and using his telekinesis, he hovers Shinso over the out of bounds. So Shinso, do you ever think about training? Like seriously, like working on your hand-to-hand combat? Shinso stares at him in shock and looks down toward basically down toward the ground. I know you have a brainwashing quirk, and as long as I make you hover here, I'm sure if you brainwash me, you'll just fall. Sorry, Shinso, but I am quirkless. Just got lucky, I guess, but I also trained like crazy. Maybe you should talk to Aizawa. You seem to have pretty similar situations. It's like you're the young version of him. It's kind of weird. Midoriya puts him down out of bounds and then walks off. Azuku Midoriya is the winner. Midoriya then watches as Shoto easily wins his match and some others, and then his next match is then announced. The next match is Azuku Midoriya versus Shoto Todoroki. They both enter the stage and nod at each other, seemingly telling each other to go all out. Todoroki launches ice at Midoriya, and he uses his blast to basically break through him. Midoriya lands a clean punch on him, and Todoroki goes flying toward the ring, but he catches himself just barely with the ice. As he does though, Midoriya pushes Shoto and the ice with his telekinesis, and Shoto steps out of bounds just barely. The winner is Azuku Midoriya. Shoto rolls his eyes in annoyance at the fact that he got called out of bounds. Don't worry, Sho. We will fight again without these restrictions. They both bump fists and head to the stands. Midoriya's next match is against Ida, but he easily wins the match when he avoids his reciprocal burst and throws him out of bounds. The final is then announced to be Katsuki Bakugo versus Azuku Midoriya. Momo approaches Midoriya. Good luck. I mean, I'm sure you'll win anyways. Thanks, Momo, but I'm not going to win. I have something else in mind. He walks away, and Momo is just completely confused. Both him and Bakugo walk up to the stage, and their fight is announced. You damn quirkless wannabe. I get to show everyone how you aren't fit to be here. Midoriya then looks at him and just smiles. What are you smiling about, you damn nerd? Midoriya raises his hand. I forfeit. Bakugo's eyes flare in anger, and it's announced that Bakugo is the winner. But he begins to freak out, saying that this isn't a true win. Eventually, Midnight has to put him to sleep, and the award ceremony happens with Bakugo in restricted clothing. All Might approaches, congratulating everyone. Midoriya, you did very well today. I'm sincerely impressed. Thank you, All Might. The ceremony is then over, and the class are allowed to go home. Midoriya then gets a text from Momo, saying why would he just give up? Midoriya explains that winning meant everything to Bakugo, but he would never want to win in that way. That is what basically his payback was, without actually hurting him. She basically tells him that, like, that was so cruel, but, like, weirdly effective, especially because of how Bakugo is. The next day, Aizawa then explains to the class their internships. Okay, class, this is a list of how many internships everyone has gotten, and you will have until the end of the day to decide where you want to go. Now, you will be choosing your hero names, but since that really isn't my thing, Midnight will be helping you. She enters and everyone begins choosing their hero names, and when it's Midoriya's turn, he walks up to the front and shows his board. The quirkless hero, Frieza. Midnight says that she loves it, but most of the class is kind of confused. But he just says it's basically just a nod at his father's name, in which they all remember that one of the top heroes, Frieza, did train him. He goes back to his seat, and class ends soon after. So, Momo, have you decided yet? Well, I assume you asked Frieza to offer me, huh? Well, you wanted to learn how to use keys, so what do you say? Okay, I'm in. Okay, well, I will see you there, I guess. Midoriya leaves, and the next day they meet at Frieza's agency. Oh, Azuku, I'm glad you and your girlfriend could make it. They both blush like crazy. Dad, I told you we were just friends. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Just friends. Frieza then explains that both her and Azuku will be training and showing her how to use ki, but it will be extremely hard. But as Azuku is teaching her, he will be working on his brand new form as well. They both agree, and for the next 4 days, they train in teaching Momo how to use ki. But she's only really able to learn how to fly, sort of. It's more like a hover. And be able to basically shoot very small ki blasts. So she more or less is like Videl level but like beginning Videl level. Frieza then comes running into the gym and tells them that there's an emergency in Hosu and they have to go now. Midoriya tells Momo to hop on his back and they will fly to Hosu. And when they arrive, there's fire everywhere and Nomu's fighting heroes. Dad, what the hell is going on? Not sure, but stay close. As he says this, a flying Nomu comes out of nowhere, kicking Midoriya and grabbing Momo. Momo! Midoriya flies after the Nomu, blasting it out of the sky and catching Momo. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, but what about you? He says that he's good, and they land on a nearby building. They then hear something from an alley nearby, but it's a familiar voice talking. I'm here to kill you, Stain, to avenge my brother. Midoriya looks down to see Ida and Stain about to face off in a battle. What is this idiot doing? Midoriya tells Momo to basically just stay put, and he jumps down. Oh, another fake hero, huh? Kid, I'll give you a chance to leave right now. Midoriya then realizes that this guy is going to be a huge threat. Midoriya, leave. This is my fight. Midoriya turns and looks at Ida, saying that his brother would never want him to go after revenge, and plus, that he isn't going to just let him die. Oh, maybe you aren't a fake hero, kid. Actually, you do look kind of familiar. Midoriya ignores Stain and begins to power up. The dark area around them begins to light up with a golden glow, and he flies at Stain. Stain tries to strike him with his sword, but when he does so, the sword shatters. What is this, kid? Midoriya begins to outclass Stain in hand-to-hand combat and punches him into the wall and holds them there using his telekinesis. Momo, I need something to tie him down. Momo then hovers her way down off the building, giving him a metallic rope, and they tie Stain up and take away all his knives. Ida is just there in complete shock about what he just saw Momo did. Or what Momo just did. Stain just sits there in silence. Why are you so quiet now, Mr. Hero Killer? Because, kid, I know who you are now. The one who is quirkless, am I right? The pro hero Frieza's adoptive son. You are a real hero, so being beat by a quirkless hero is enough for me to respect you. Cops then find Stain at the scene, but Ida, Momo, and Azuku leave so they don't get into, any trouble. And then Hosu basically calms down as all the Nomus are defeated and the internships are actually forced to end early. They then arrive at school a couple days later. Aizawa announces that there will be a final exam, both a written and practical. The class is given time to study, in which both Momo and Azuku study together. And also they train together to help Momo how to use ki, a little bit better. But given that they only had about 2 more days, it didn't make too big of a difference. After the written final is finished, the class is sent out to the gym, and the teachers are waiting. This year, problem children, you won't be fighting robots. That just isn't practical. So you all will be fighting the teachers. It is said that there's going to be teams of 2 of students, and then Aizawa announces all those teams, plus who will they be facing for a teacher. Aizawa then slightly smirks and begins saying the last team. And the last team is Katsuki Bakugo and Azuku Midoriya versus our very own symbol of peace, All Might. Bakugo and Midoriya look at each other and just roll their eyes. The fights go as planned until Bakugo and Midoriya try to plan. Katsuki, as much as I don't want to plan with you, we need to plan. I don't need to plan with you, you damn nerd. What makes you think you can beat All Might on your own? Bakugo rolls his eyes and scoffs, saying that he refuses to work with him. After all the fights are finished, it is now time for Bakugo and Midoriya's fight against All Might. They walk into the fake city and Midoriya tries to plan, but Bakugo refuses. Katsuki, really? Dude, you just want to lose to All Might, don't you? Midoriya follows behind Bakugo, but at a distance. A blast of wind comes their way, and Midoriya easily dodges it. But Bakugo gets hit and keeps moving forward. Bakugo tries to fight All Might, but gets destroyed and is practically unconscious, so Midoriya flies over, saving him. I really didn't want to save him, but I knew he would do this.
Young Midoriya, you cannot defeat me alone. You should have tried to convince young Bakugo to work with you.
I tried that, All Might, but me beating you alone is honestly still up for grabs. All Might looks at him in shock, thinking, wait, does he really think he can beat him? Midoriya charges at All Might, and they both clash with each other. Midoriya, using his superior martial arts, he's able to actually keep up with the raw power of All Might.
Young Midoriya, we all know you cannot keep up this fast-paced battle to keep up with my power.
Oh, All Might, I know. I just wanted to see how far I've come. All Might looks at him in shock while the ground around Midoriya begins to shatter and the area begins to shake as a gold aura reveals itself around Midoriya. All Might, this fight is over. Midoriya slams All Might into the wall using his telekinesis and follows up with a bunch of barrage of ki blasts as he makes his way to the exit, as well as grabbing Bakugo. All Might charges at them once again, and Midoriya throws Bakugo through the exit. Midoriya then begins charging a massive attack. You know, Frieza called this a supernova, but I never really knew how to make it. Well, until now. He throws the attack at All Might and makes a break for the exit. All Might smashes the blast and it blows up mid-air. Bakugo and Midoriya pass. All Might looks to see Midoriya at the exit with a knocked out Bakugo. All Might walks over and tells Midoriya that the display was very impressive. Aizawa then announces that everyone will be going to the training camp, no matter if they passed or didn't. The next day comes and the class heads off to the forest lodge, and when they arrive at a nearby cliff, they are greeted by the Wild Pussycats. Aizawa then tells them all that this is the beginning of the camp, and the mountain they were on then slings them off. The class basically then runs through various monsters, but Midoriya and Momo easily fight their way through because of how much damage their ki blasts do, especially with Midoriya, but Momo has been learning ki blasts and to control her ki a lot better, so she's actually pretty powerful. They arrive at the camp and Aizawa explains to them that they will be training for the next week to grow their quirks, but for tonight they can take the day to rest. Midoriya sees a little kid and approaches him. "Sup, little one?" As he says this, the boy by the name of Koda turns and punches him in the family jewels.
Oh God, that hurt. Why? Why would you do that?
The next day, the day then ends and they begin their training. Midoriya just does some meditation mostly to increase his ki control, and the rest of class do basically what they did in canon. The night approached, and everyone was eating together until Midoriya realized that Kota went off on his own without food. So he decided to take him food while everyone was busy. He flew to the mountain and saw Kota sitting on it. "Hey Kota, I brought you some food." "Whatever, just leave me alone." "I actually wanted to ask you something. Like, why do you hate heroes?" Kota refuses to answer and just says that they are dumb and being a hero is stupid. As he says this, a voice can be heard from the shadows. "I agree, kid. Heroes are stupid." A villain by the name of Muscular stood on the mountain with them, saying they are looking for a quirkless kid named Midoriya and someone named Bakugo Katsuki. "Kota, run. I will handle him." Kota begins to run away, and Muscular tries to attack him, but Midoriya blasts him into the mountain. Going after a little kid, even for a villain, that's low. Now tell me, why do you want Bakugo? "Well, by the sound of it, you must be the other kid, huh? But we want Bakugo to join us. But for you, we want your quirk. The hand guy refuses to believe you're quirkless." Muscular charges at Midoriya, punching him in the face. But Midoriya doesn't move an inch. "Muscular, I will give you one more chance to leave, but I will be forced to take action if you refuse." He stands there in shock that his punch did nothing to this kid. "Fine by me, Mr. Villain." Midoriya screams and a gold aura erupts around him, and he begins to beat Muscular into the ground, slamming him a bunch of times using his telekinesis. Muscular is then knocked out, and Midoriya takes Kota to Aizawa. They arrive, and when Midoriya is flying above Aizawa, his voice just suddenly stops, and he is gone in an instant. "Problem child, what? Where did he go?" Midoriya hours later wakes up in a bar with Bakugo tied up in the chair next to him. "Damn, I let my guard down." Multiple villains enter the room. "Oh, you're awake. Now for some questions. First you, Midoriya. How are you this strong even though you are supposedly quirkless?" "Well, I can tell you already think that I have a quirk, so why are you even asking?" "Because if you are quirkless, I want to know how you got so strong." "Why would I even tell you that?" Shigaraki walks over to Bakugo and grabs his neck with 4 fingers. "Tell me already, or he's dead." Bakugo looks at Shigaraki in shock. "Why would I care if he dies? I hate this kid." Shigaraki looks at Midoriya in shock and tells Bakugo that why not become a villain and join them, that even this kid doesn't care about him. Question, Mr. Hand-Face Guy, why did you think that these cuffs would stop me? Midoriya blasts his and Bakugo's cuffs off, and as he does this, Bakugo blasts Shigaraki in the face. The entire League of Villains as well as Bakugo and Midoriya get ready for a fight, until a knock can be heard at the door, distracting them. "Pizza?" "Who the hell ordered pizza?" Pro heroes including All Might come through the wall and knock out all the villains, telling both Midoriya and Bakugo that they were very brave. But then out of nowhere, a portal took both of them to the middle of the city, and the person waiting was All for One. All Might arrived on the scene, and Bakugo and Midoriya were eventually able to escape to a nearby city, and they begin watching the fight. Wait, is that Frieza? Frieza entered the battle with All Might to support him, and they were able to defeat All for One with relative ease, but still All Might was forced into retirement. UA then decided on a dorm system, and everyone went back to school a couple days later. When they arrived, Aizawa explained that they'll be working on their new super moves, but also getting them ready for their provisional hero license exam. They all leave to the gym, but Aizawa stops Midoriya. "Problem child, I have some good news, I think. You actually don't need to take the provisional hero license exam. Frieza wanted me to surprise you that he actually submitted a form to get you one,
for the work you've done in the past at his agency. He felt you were more than ready.
Aizawa then gives Midoriya his license. Are you serious? This is insane. Thank you.
Well, thank your dad and yourself. You're a good kid.
They head to the gym and work on their super moves, as Midoriya thinks that Aizawa really sucks at compliments. The day of the provisional hero license exam, Midoriya actually got just to watch his classmates with Aizawa to see almost all of them pass, except for, well, Bakugo and Shoto, because of their actions toward the end of the exam. The day that the big three came to talk about work studies, though, Midoriya wasn't actually there. Aizawa told him that he could start early if he wanted to go and work with his father. So Midoriya was working with Frieza, doing patrols and researching a threat that came to their attention via a pro hero named Night Eye. He told them that there was a man by the name of Overhaul that has been dealing with the League of Villains, and not only that, but supposedly he is making quirk erasing bullets. Some days pass and their research continues until Frieza decided to have Midoriya go on a patrol with one of Night Eye's work study students. Midoriya arrives to see Mirio. Night Eye greeted them both and told them that they would be going on just a simple patrol, and if they somehow found Overhaul, to obviously avoid conflict. They agree and head off together. So Mirio, right? Yeah, that's me, or you can call me Lemillion. Oh, nice to meet you. You can call me Midoriya or Frieza, I guess. Either is really fine. So, I have a question for you. Is it true that you're quirkless? Midoriya smiles and nods, saying that he's just trained a lot. So, Lemillion, you have 2 quirks, don't you? Mirio looks at him in shock, but as Midoriya says this, a little girl runs into both of them. Oh, are you okay, little one? She hugs Midoriya, and someone from the shadows begins to talk. She is fine. No need to worry. Come here, Eri. Stop bothering these heroes. They both realize that this man is Overhaul. Mirio begins to basically tone down the situation, saying that kids can be a hassle sometimes, but we wouldn't be heroes if we couldn't handle a little one. He smiles, and Overhaul does as well. Eri then begins to whisper, "Please, help me." Midoriya's eyes grow wide and begins to remember his mother being dragged out of that car all those years ago. Using telekinesis, he basically just holds Overhaul in place. Mirio, take Eri to Sir Night Eye's agency and tell him the situation. I will keep him here. Mirio nods and leaves. What? You think you can beat me alone, kid? Overhaul tries to move but can't. Why can't I? Oh, I'm holding you in place until reinforcements come. Overhaul begins to struggle, but the telekinesis is too strong for him to escape. You stupid kid. You don't understand what you're doing. I'm trying to make change in this world. Midoriya ignores him and just pushes him into the wall. Mirio returns, but out of nowhere a giant man appears. What? How? I held him in place. Dumb kid. I hit my tracker when you put me into the wall. Midoriya realizes that he messed up, and he slams Overhaul into the wall hard. Overhaul then gets out of the wall while they are being distracted, and he combines himself with that gigantic man. Now both of you will die. Midoriya begins flying around, attacking Overhaul at all angles, telling him that he may be stronger, but he sure is slow. Mirio follows suit, attacking as well. He punches Mirio, landing cleanly, but Midoriya catches him in his telekinesis and slams him before he could follow up on Mirio. Reinforcements then arrive, and they all are able to lock up Overhaul, luckily because of how strong Midoriya's telekinesis is. The next day, pro heroes are sent to the base of the Shiha Zaikai, and they capture the rest of the villains. Back at Frieza's agency. Wow, kid, you did it. You truly are a hero now, huh? Yeah, I guess so, but I still have a lot to learn. As Midoriya says this, A beam of yellow light covers Frieza. Wait, what is happening? Are you okay? I did my job, kiddo. Now I guess they're sending me back to my world. What? No, wait. Don't leave me. Kiddo, you are ready. You will soon be the strongest in this world. Believe that. Just be the best hero you can be, Midoriya. Midoriya begins to cry, and Frieza vanishes in the blinding yellow light. I will be the best hero, I promise that.